President Muhammadu Buhari to present 2022 budget to the National Assembly on Thursday. Federal government signs 101 million euros agreement with German government to boost the economy. Nigeria is 97% ready for 5G network, says Nigerian Communications Commission. Plus, U.S. oil rises to highest since 2014 amid global energy crunch. And today is Customer Service Day. The focus on Business Express. Details of this and more on Business Express, and we are reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Benny Adams, your guide. You're welcome to the business side of life, and we start by telling you that President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to present the 2022 budget to a joint session of the National Assembly on Thursday. Deputy Senate President Ovio Momo Agege made this known when he presided over Senate Tuesday's plenary. The news agency of Nigeria reports that the president had earlier on Tuesday presented a revised 2022 to 2024 medium-term expenditure and fiscal strategy paper to the Senate for approval. The revised MTEF and FSP provides the basic structure for the estimates and assumptions that underline the annual budget. And moving on, the federal government has signed a 101 million euros financing bilateral agreement with the Republic of Germany. Nekaoko reports that the economic cooperation, which is for various development programs, was signed by Minister of State, Budget and National Planning, Clem Agba, on behalf of the federal government.
The signing agreement is the climax of a two-day government negotiations held virtually between both countries in Abuja and Bonn. Nigeria and Germany have agreed on three core areas of cooperation, namely sustainable economic growth, food security, and renewable energy.
Furthermore, it is pertinent to mention that these various interventions across sectors and the proposed spend align succinctly with this administration's developmental priorities and the ongoing National Development Plan, with the vision to catalyze the potential of the public, private, and social sectors to stimulate industrialization and inclusive growth. However, there is a need for a periodic joint feed assessment of the interventions, as this will assist in the coordination and reporting.
For the German side, the overreaching objective is to promote employment and create future prospects for Nigeria's young population.
So we agreed on new projects that are focusing on peace building and conflict prevention, stabilization, supporting refugees and also host communities in the northeast, but also in the Middle Belt in Nigeria. And we have agreed on a new project on supporting family planning and reproductive health.
The 101 million euros economic cooperation agreement is intended for 2021 and 2022. In Abuja, Nekaoku.
The Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC), Professor Umar Dambata, says Nigeria is 97% ready for deployment of fifth-generation cellular network technology. MTN and Airtel are the two major operators that plan to secure a 5G spectrum license to deploy the technology. While MTN has already conducted a trial of the technology across its offices in the country, which was deemed successful, Airtel has also secured approval for trial. The Commission said it would assign 5 slots of the 5G spectrum. The Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDEN, has signed the 2021 Memorandum of Understanding with 6 commercial banks to disburse 50,000 naira grant to more than 20 beneficiaries across the country under the conditional grant scheme in 12 states of the Federation. At the signing in Abuja, the Director General of SMEDEN, Umaru Dikorada, said since inception of the grant in 2016, 28 states and the FCT have benefited from the scheme, with 9 states to be reached in 2022.
We'll continue to formalize the 40 million MSMEs that are informal, that is the macro businesses that are informal in the country, until when we reach an appreciable level of comfort that yes, we are able to formalize and our macro businesses can grow from macro to small to medium and to the large enterprise, and we'll be able to compete globally, regionally and nationally.
This project, this program is what a lot of us entrepreneurs have been aching to be a part of. And I thank SMEDEN for this vision.
The Debt Management Office says Nigeria spent 1.47 trillion naira on debt servicing payments in the first half of 2021. Data obtained from DMO indicates that in the first quarter of the year, the country spent 1.02 trillion naira on both domestic and external debt servicing, while a total of 445.45 billion naira was spent in the second quarter of 2021. From January to March 2021, Nigeria spends 612.71 billion naira on domestic debt servicing, while it spent $1 billion on external debt servicing. From April to June 2021, Nigeria spent 322.7 billion on domestic debt servicing and on external debt servicing. For domestic debt, Nigeria spent 219.29 billion naira in January and 125.09 billion naira in February, 270.33 billion naira in March, 258 billion naira in April, and 42.2 billion naira in May. The Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, has once again been honored by the presidency through the Servicom office for its outstanding broadcast service delivery during the COVID-19 era. The accolade is part of activities outlined to mark this year's Service Week. Ikechukwu Ndukwe will bring us details in our subsequent bulletin. We're still talking about the Service Day to discuss the theme of this year, which is Customer Service Day, which is power to service. I have in the studio Hassan Abedi. He is a customer service manager. You are welcome to Business
Thank you very
Express.
much.
Well, while the world practically was shut down last year, some frontline workers had their hands full. How did COVID-19 affect service delivery? It was an issue of moving from the physical to the virtual.
Yes, thank you very much for that question. Yeah, yes, that last year was mirrored of, it had its own challenges, you know. For the first few weeks, we were practically fully locked down. We couldn't, our customers couldn't really access apart aside from the digital channels, but we were quick to move. What we did was, first and foremost, we ensured that we put the stipulated NCDC COVID protocols. We also made sure that the staff and the staff were well equipped with those PPEs. Yeah, it was quite expensive because then I could remember, like, for the infrared scanners, they were going for like about 85,000 naira. You know, the standing scanners were quite a sum. So it was quite expensive. But what could we do? We needed to continue serving our customers, and even in the traffic in the stores, because we had to do a lot of spacing, so customers had to wait longer times before they could get serviced. And then they couldn't understand why all of a sudden. But with time, they got to know that, okay, yes, this is for the safety on all of us, and also on the customer side and staff side, there was skepticism about safety. People just thought,
you're interacting with people,
customers,
you don't know their
what
health
the status and what have you. When they said some people were not asymptomatic and what have you, and so there was skepticism in the staff and customers also. But we've evolved past that and we've moved on.
Okay, talking about evolving and past that, what are the lessons learned, and what is the possible future for customer service in this kind of situation when they arise again?
Yes, we were quick to move. I know, I'd say a digital company. Before COVID, we were contemplating in a kind of hybrid kind of work from home, a mix of work from home and work from the office. So it was easy for us to just slide into those shoes. We didn't believe we could achieve much that in that short time. So practically what happened was, we just switched from working from the office and we started working from home. Yeah, it came with its challenges, because now you have to navigate the workplace with your children around, family members around, distractions from meetings and what have you. We were able to navigate that. So what we did was we moved the needle in terms of our digital space. We introduced Ziggy. Ziggy is like a digital platform, and we also leverage the IVR platforms whereby customers can get served using just the IVR.
So you get virtual platforms serving like humans.
Yes, our virtual platforms spiked even I can say about 85%. The traffic on that virtual platform became it tripled the number anyway. And we also introduced a chatbot. It's an interactive chatbot like WhatsApp. We call it Ziggy. That came out in 2020. What it does is that you're able to chat live with the customer, and then you ask questions. You can buy data. You can do freebies from it. What was existent before, we had the Facebook channel, we had the Instagram handles, and 180 handle. Yes, it was serving, but people didn't really know. Didn't know much about it. But they were forced because of. Everybody was sitting at home, you're either on your phone or your laptop.
And you needed to transact business.
Yes, you needed to do
life
data.
Must actually
yes,
go.
Life had to move. So it taught us a lot of lessons that, okay, we should be able to, in our channels, we should digitize it maybe by 80%. So all customer touch points, customers should be empowered enough to be able to serve themselves just using the digital channels.
Okay, talking about empowerment of customers and effective service delivery, today is Customer Service Day. Yeah. How vital is customer service in meeting customers' needs, and for any business to survive, how vital is the place of customer service?
Yes, it's a very good question, and as practically every product, let me not even use the telecoms industry as an example, every product is practically the same. Now, the differentiating factor only, it's the service. So why do I say service? So if you go to XX Telecom, for example, they're offering data service at XX amount, you go to this, everybody's offering the same price. Let's even take the transport industry, for example, like the Uber, the Bolt, and everything. The only differentiating thing in all of them is that most of them have the same quality of cars, but the only differentiating factor will be customer service. So customer service is key and is the differentiating factor, and that is the only way we'll be able to win our customers' hearts and then retain them.
How do you gauge service delivery to customers and ensure that they're actually satisfied? How do you gauge this?
Okay, yes. A lot of network elements, we measure a lot of network elements. We measure quality of network, we measure their satisfaction on our interaction, but basically we gauge it using the Net Promoter Score. Now, the Net Promoter Score means how likely are you going to recommend my product to somebody else. So, for example, you come into the store now, for example, and you liked the way the service was done. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, we say for 9 and 10, it's a promoter, 8 is a passive, 7 is, it's from 1 to 7, it becomes a detractor. That means he's less likely to say, okay, Mr. Hassan, I've got into an MTN shop, and I like the data that they are using, and I like the speed of the data rate and what have you. So that's one way. And that second way we do is that from time to time we do customer forums. Now, customer forums is we randomly select customers, and we sit them down in one place, and then, we ask them questions. How has the network, how has been your buying experience? How has been your recharging experience? How has been your billing experience? How has your data
these are the parameters you get to assess customer satisfaction. Okay, shortly before I let you go, can you speak on this year's theme, power to service?
Okay, yes. Power to service is basically, despite all odds, we were able to break. We still had to serve our customers. We liken the GSM industry to like the hospitality industry, whereby or the hospital industry, the medical, whereby our lines have now become something like it's our next life, it's a next life and death thing. So we were saying that for this year we're celebrating those front lines that were there for the customer, because they couldn't adopt the work from home initiative. They had to be in front to serve the customers, even though they were all armed with PPEs and whatever. So we're saying this year we're dedicating it to the frontline staff for their dedication to service,
and sacrifice
to
against
service.
all odds.
Yes.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Hassan Abedi, for sharing your thoughts with us on this particular day, power to service.
Thank you very much.
Well, moving on, Nigeria is reviewing existing policies to develop strategies for the development, promotion, and use of clean cooking energy in the country. This is in line with the nation's nationally determined contributions to the Paris Agreement on reducing greenhouse gas emissions.
The dynamics of this is that it uses waste, corn cobs, as fuel. So you don't need to use kerosene, you don't need to use anything. It uses 100% waste.
To avoid the forest from deforestation and to keep the environment clean, because these are waste material. Packing them to make this, it keeps the environment clean, and you can save at least 50% of your money by using this one.
The NMPC have their gas expansion plan. They've started their LPG production. Ministry of Women Affairs is doing the same. So we now want to bring everyone under a subcommittee within the Interministerial Committee on Climate Change to be able to handle this clean cook stove issue.
We need a national policy on clean cooking. We need a financing framework, and we need to build partnership with the international community to solve this problem, so we can hand over stoves for free to the families that need them.
The Petroleum Product Pricing Regulatory Agency has announced that Nigeria consumed a total of 1.74 billion liters of premium motor spirit in August 2021. In a statement issued by the General Manager Corporate Services PPRA, Kinchi Apollo, the volume distributed in August was a decline from 1.867 billion liters distributed in the previous month. According to him, 1.74 billion barrels of petrol consumption in August indicated an average daily supply of about 55.99 million liters, while the total truck out volume for PMS was 1.79 billion liters. It noted that the entirety of products distributed in the period under review were imported by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Let's take a look at prices of commodities. The U.S. oil prices rose for a fifth day on Wednesday to their highest since 2014 amid global concerns about the energy supply on signs of tightness in crude, natural gas and coal markets. Brent crude prices also climbed for a fourth day on the supply anxiety, particularly after the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC and its allies, known as OPEC Plus, decided on Monday to say with their planned output increase rather than boosting it further. U.S. West Texas Intermediate oil earlier rose to $79.18 a barrel, the highest since November 10, 2014. The market was up 0.15% at $79.05 a barrel. Brent crude added 0.15% to sell at $82.63 to a three-year high in previous session. On Monday, OPEC Plus agreed to adhere to its July pact to boost output by 400,000 barrels per day each month until at least April 2022, phasing out a 5.8 million barrels per day of existing production cuts. European markets tumble with stock 600 down by 1.5%. Nikkei falls 1%. Let's see a review of stocks around the globe with Neka Oko.
Welcome to the global market segment. Stocks in Asia Pacific were mostly lower on Wednesday, with major indices in Japan and South Korea leading losses regionally. Japan's Nikkei 225 shared earlier gains, falling 1.05% to close at 27,528.87. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index also declined 0.57%, while markets in China remained closed for public holidays. European stocks were sharply lower as U.S. Treasury yields spiked, with inflation concerns continuing to weigh on global markets. Germany's DAX fell 2.16%, London's FTSE 1.42%, while CAC 40 of France also depreciated by 2.11%. U.S. equities fell in early morning trading after the markets rebounded from a technology-led sell-off a day earlier. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 340 points, S&P 500 1.19%, and Nasdaq Composite also traded in negative territory. Meanwhile, mixed trading trailed African markets Wednesday. South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40 declined 1.57%. Kenya's Nairobi Oil Share also dropped 1.23%, while Tunisia's Tunidex, Namibia's overall index, and Ghana's GSE Composite all entered positive territory. And that's global market. I'm Neka Oko.
On that global note, we wrap this edition of Business Express. Remember to keep in touch with us. Do send in your comments, observations, and suggestions. Also be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on NTA's channel. Business Express returns Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Be safe out there.